Time now for your local news week in review on AM 960 KLTF. The defense in the Brian Fitch Sr. murder trial rested Thursday after calling no witnesses and after playing a brief audio recording of the shootout between Fitch and police when Fitch was arrested. The prosecution rested earlier in the day Thursday after several days of testimony. Fitch waived his right to testify at his own trial. Closing arguments in the case are scheduled for Monday in St. Cloud. 40-year-old Brian Fitch Sr. is charged with first-degree murder for the July 30th shooting death of Officer Scott Patrick in West St. Paul. The Little Falls City Council appointed Jerry Knopfler as the new Ward 2 council member after interviews Monday at City Hall. Knopfler was appointed to fill the seat previously held by now Mayor Greg Zilka after Zilka was elected to the mayor seat in November. Knopfler's seat is up for election in November of 2016. The next Little Falls City Council meeting is Monday night 7:30 at City Hall. Various agenda items. The Morrison County mayors, they meet Wednesday at 12:30 in Royalton. The Pierce City Council met this past week Monday night. At their meeting, the council tabled an ordinance for the Veterans Memorial. The Pierce Council also received the Pay Equity Report and Library Report. The council approved a contract with the Morrison County Humane Society for Stray Animals at $1,125, a donation to the Morrison County Fair for $250, and passed a resolution for accepting Matt Bell's resignation from the city clerk position effective February 24th. The council passed a resolution to accept applications for the city clerk's position. Anyone with questions, contact City Administrator Scott Sayre at City Hall next week, 468-6471. The next regular Pierce City Council meeting, Monday, February 9th, 7 o'clock at Pierce City Hall. Little Falls School Superintendent Stephen Jones spoke on KLTF this past week on Wednesday, discussing items going on at the school district. He discussed what is being devised from the facilities meetings that the district has been putting on. Jones discussed an extension to the high school building, which is still in the early stages, but the final facilities planning meeting to show the ideas put together for the district expansion is Monday, February 9th at 6:30 at the high school commons. All are welcome and encouraged to attend. At the meeting, a recommendation is expected. Then it would go to the school board for a possible referendum if approved by the state that could be voted on as early as in May. Jones also mentioned that May 6th is the set date for the Day of Caring. More details to come on registration during the month of March. A new community and aquatic center could open as early as March of 2017 in St. Cloud. A proposed timeline for the aquatic center was released Thursday, along with the preliminary drawings of the complex. The St. Cloud City Council will discuss the project, including fees to use the facility, at their 6 o'clock study session Monday night at City Hall. The city is partnering with the St. Cloud Area YMCA on the facility. The goal is to raise $27 million for the project. So far, $14 million in local option sales tax dollars have been set aside. The YMCA would raise the remaining amount and be responsible for operating the facility. The YMCA will not receive any operation dollars from the city of St. Cloud. Members of the Minnesota National Guard will not be going to Liberia as planned to help the U.S. military's response to the Ebola outbreak in West Africa. Soldiers from the 34th Red Bull Infantry Division were supposed to go to Liberia this year in support of Operation United Assistance. Late Saturday, the National Guard released a statement last weekend saying the plan had changed. The nearly 300 soldiers preparing for the mission will not be required to support the effort to contain the Ebola virus disease in West Africa. The Guard announced in November that nearly 700 members of the 34th Red Bull would be deployed to Liberia in April for a 6-month period, but that mission was later reduced to nearly 300 soldiers, and now none at all. The Minnesota Military Museum recently received a $5,400 grant from Macy's to support a renovation of the museum's Women in the Military exhibit. The exhibit highlights the involvement of women in the military over the past century and will allow the museum to renovate cabinets and update materials and information for the exhibit. With the grant, the new Women in the Military exhibit should be completed by May 1st. A Morrison County jury deliberated for 30 minutes before returning a guilty verdict of fleeing a peace officer in a motor vehicle against 34-year-old Robert Croteau of Anoka on Monday morning in Little Falls. On June 16th, the Minnesota State Trooper Sam Catlin was on Highway 371 north of Little Falls when a car came up behind him at 114 miles per hour. The car slowed to 70 miles per hour and passed the trooper. The trooper pulled in behind the car, and the driver refused to stop and continued driving at 70 despite the trooper's flashing lights and siren. The pursuit lasted 6 minutes and covered 8 miles. 2 other state troopers joined Catlin in a rolling roadblock and maneuvered the car to a stop. Croteau will be sentenced on February 10th by Judge Freeberg. State guidelines call for a prison sentence between 17 and 22 months. The Minnesota DNR will postpone the new aquatic invasive species training and trailer decal program that was due to launch at the end of the month while legislators consider changes to the program. Under a law passed by the state legislature in 2012, anyone trailering a boat or water-related equipment, such as docks and lifts in Minnesota, is required to take aquatic invasive species training and display a decal on their trailer. The effective date was July 1st this year. The DNR supports the education that would be provided under the law, but recognizes there are some concerns with the way the law is currently written. For example, people transporting boats on trailers through Minnesota to another destination are required to take the course and display a decal even if they don't put their boat in the waters in Minnesota. Since the training and decal are currently not required until July 1st, the DNR wants to remind people there will be time to see what happens legislatively this session and still take the course and receive decals if need be. The Camp Ripley Fire Department will conduct controlled burns now through March 15th throughout the day and nighttime periods. Usually the burns are completed every spring before the summer annual training season begins. However, with the unusual warmer weather conditions, it provides an opportunity for preventative burns earlier than usual. During this time period, the surrounding areas of Camp Ripley can expect to see and smell smoke. All burn piles are controlled and are within safety regulations due to the amount of snow on the ground. And the 25th annual Brainerd JC's Ice Fishing Extravaganza was a week ago, last Saturday, on Hole-in-the-Day Bay of Gull Lake. The top winner of the event, winning a pickup truck, Stephen Darrell of Owatonna, he caught the largest overall fish, a 6.73-pound northern pike. Anthony Welch of St. Paul caught the second largest fish, a 3.67-pound walleye. Brandon Freudenreich of Little Falls caught the third largest fish, a 2.88-pound walleye. More than 40 area charities are supported by the annual event. Temperatures were in the mid-30s during the contest a week ago. That completes this week's Local News Week in Review. Thanks for listening.